Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise is brought to you in partnership with Drive Media and Consulting and their premier sponsors. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platforms and share. If you just found us, welcome. And if you're a regular, welcome back. Denise DiGrigoli has spent her life in the creative industries as an entrepreneur, helping people transform their visions into thriving businesses, working with individuals and teams to find their purpose and live their life vibrantly. On her pod, Denise delivers business intel and life hacks with wit and wisdom in short shots like a strong espresso with a solid sense of humor. Enjoy this episode of Mav's Coffee Clarity, and here's Mav.
Welcome, my friends. You're on Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise. I'm so glad you're here, and if it's your first time, welcome. This is coffee with your sharpest friend. Solid ideas mixed with a little humor for people that's building what's next. Unedited, unfiltered, we're real stories, those silver linings and fresh perspectives. I sit down with MAVericks in their own right, business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives, change makers who have maved their way through something and share those silver linings. Life hacks and business intel delivered wit, wisdom, clarity, one cup, one conversation at a time. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite shows, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and more. Take us on the go or relaxing at the beach or snuggling at home on a Saturday. We don't dispense advice. We share our insights, and we let you take whatever resonates with you. Wherever you're tuning in from, thank you. And listen, pass this on. We're building a community of MAVigators, and we want you to be with us. And we thank you for your share and sending this out to somebody that might need it. So listen, I want to get right to it, my friends. I got a spectacular Maverick in the house today. I'm so fortunate to know Marcie Setlow, the publisher of the online newspaper, the Berkshire Edge. She founded this in 2014 with David Scribner. Before that, she spent many years developing and selling and managing media projects for national and international broadcast outlets like, and you're going to know the names, PBS, BBC, NHK in Japan, and Antenne 2 in France. Did I say Antenne?
Antenne 2.
Antenne 2. Well, this is why we need Marcie here today. As a community leader, she is the former president of New York Women in Film and Television. In the Berkshires, she is the president of Close Encounters with Music and a board member of the Berkshire Playwrights Lab. Too many coffees today, my friends. Her love of journalism goes way back to her high school newspaper in New Haven. You see, we're bringing that 203 to the 413 again. And that early spark has carried through her lifetime of storytelling, community leadership, and cultural advocacy. She's a connector, a creator, a MAVigator, and a steady, thoughtful voice who shaped how we understand this region and the people who call it home. I am so honored to welcome Marcie to the show today. Welcome, Marcie.
Well, I am very honored to be here, and I must say, I hear that description of me, and I went,
You thought I made it up, but it's really you.
Surprises me.
It's really, really you. Well, in fairness, I found Marcie by accident. You know, and it's sort of like MAVigators attract MAVigators, but there's no accident, right? Isn't it true? It's sort of serendipitous, my friend. So you start this magazine in 2014, and I want to hear all about where that brainchild came from, but give us a little background on this fancy...
Actually, we started the newspaper in 2014. The magazine came later. So David and I started the Berkshire Edge, which is our daily online newspaper, which is now read by some 125,000 visitors every month.
Wow.
So we're quite pleased with it. But I mean, if you talk about MAVericks, yes, it was a crazy idea. It was a crazy idea when we started it. It was 2014. I had spent a career raising money and, helping other people develop their projects for television and raising money for other people's projects. And I was completely burned out. I was tired of doing other people's ideas. It was time for me to do something of my own. And I met David Scribner, who had been editor-in-chief of the Eagle and at that point was working for the Berkshire Record. He was the newspaper editor, and so we thought there is not a decent newspaper in the Berkshires, and we could do better than this.
She came up against the Eagle from the 1800s. That is not decent enough, my friends. This is a Maverick. Come on. Okay. So you and David are like, yeah,
So
we need to do better. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, no, so we just felt there was news that wasn't being covered, and we thought we had a perfect combination of skills. I mean, David was content, I was business, because my work in television, and film and television, had always been I was raising the money. I mean, I was the business side.
Right.
I would help shape projects so that they were saleable or fundable, and then I would go out and sell them or fund them. So, and David was the newspaper person. Although as you said, I always loved newspaper. I always loved news.
I want to hear about how you got started back in New Haven and how you got to the Berkshires before you launched your own idea. I mean, you've been all over the world.
Well, not really. I mean, I have traveled, but I haven't lived all over the world.
So you from the high school newspaper, how do you get into, did you go to college for journalism?
No. No, and I was never really a journalist. I mean, my life has been very serendipitous, and every time I meet a young person who doesn't know what to do, I say, calm down. It'll appear. And
if you keep showing up, it'll appear.
If you keep showing up, right. It was that Woody Allen line, like 90% of life is showing up. So, I mean, I kind of followed my nose. I mean, I had a very, inconsistent career. I mean, I did go to college. I went to Smith College, not far from here. And then I went to the University of Chicago for a master's in urban studies. And then I moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts, where I worked in urban work. And then I went to New York, where I worked for the city of New York in a project to try to reshape city government.
How was that?
Which was not successful. I should tell you, it was not successful. And then I fell into a job. I fell into a job at the New York Public Television Station, WNET in New York, Channel 13.
Yeah,
in New York.
know it well.
And it was, I mean, I seriously just fell into it. I was having dinner with a friend one night, and somebody called up and said, we're looking for somebody, and do you know somebody? And she said, yes. So
How long were you there?
I was at Channel 13 for 12 years. And
so all our New Yorker friends, Channel 13.
Yes,
and
right.
So were you behind the scenes or in the front lines?
No, I was behind the scenes. I was always.
What did you love about that most? Because you were there a while.
Oh, it was like a constant stream of new ideas.
That's invigorating, isn't it?
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was a creative community, and the people who came in and out of our doors were amazing. I mean, they were really the sort of the brightest and most creative minds.
Why did you leave?
Well, I left and I went to another station. I mean,
okay.
I was offered a better job by the Pittsburgh Public Television Station.
Oh.
But I didn't move to Pittsburgh. I stayed in New York, and we had a New York sales office. So I stayed in New York and worked for the Pittsburgh station.
How was that? Was it good?
No, it was great. I mean, it was great. It was a smaller station, but they were very creative. But they fell on hard times. And at one point, my bosses called me to Pittsburgh, and they said, we can't afford this New York office and the flying back and forth. We just can't afford it anymore. So we've decided that you should start your own business, and we'll be your first client.
Really?
Yes. It was.
So they came up with the idea. And were you flabbergasted, or were you like, yeah, I'm ready?
I'm ready. I was ready.
Wow.
And so I did. I mean, I became a consultant to public television stations on project development and fundraising. And I was doing that until the time that I started The Edge.
Okay, so now what gets you from New York and leaving the Philly or your consulting business to here?
Well, I had a second home here.
Oh.
I bought a second home in 1997, and so I was in the Berkshires
And enjoying it like we all do.
like we all do. I wasn't living here. I was living and working in New York. But
Were you, so now we're moving into the Edge, which you guys, I mean, and Marcie's not paying me to say this, I absolutely love her magazine, even before I met her. I think we met you briefly when we relocated here.
Yes.
And I love the magazine, but what I love about it now is when people come, I actually dig into it and we check off what we're going to do.
yes, yeah.
I mean, it's like
Well,
it's like that kind of magazine.
Right, but I want to differentiate because we have two publications. We have The Edge, which
Right.
is the daily newspaper.
Online,
which we started in 2014.
which is fabulous.
And that really is a kind of unusual newspaper. I mean,
What makes it unusual?
Well, we're very, we're surprising. I mean, we are completely local. And
That's like a great slogan.
Yeah.
We're surprising.
we are surprising because you never really know what you're going to get when you open The Edge. I mean, we do local news, we do poems, we do essays, we do, we when David and I started this, and the reason that we felt that the Berkshires needed
An edge.
an edge was that we felt that there was nobody who was really covering the interesting and unusual character of this corner of the world.
It is like an interesting character.
Yeah,
it really is.
And so, we put out the word that we were receptive to local people writing us articles, and they do. And so we have.
How many locals do you have writing articles, or people in general?
We have if you look at our list of contributors online, we've got about 75 writers who are, mostly not paid. People in the community who have something interesting to say. I mean, we're not indiscriminate. We don't publish everything, but if somebody writes us an interesting article about something going on or about how they feel about something, we have in this community, we have such interesting people. We have.
I'm going to call them characters, including myself.
Yes. But the other reason, I mean, we are very responsive to the community. I mean,
you are very responsive.
Yes, we're very responsive. I mean,
you're very hands-on, which I love. Like there's access to the publisher,
right?
And you get the real story. My question is, what surprised you most about the digital publishing here in the Berkshires?
Well, we were the first.
You were the first.
Yes, when we started, I mean, it's 11 years. We forget that when I started this in 2014, we were the only digital newspaper. Even the Eagle didn't have a digital component.
Were they mad? Were they like, wow, look at this?
No. I don't think they were mad.
But you mavericked your way. You championed this idea.
Because we're very different. But what's so surprising is really how flexible it is.
Did people embrace it right away? Meaning,
no. I mean,
was that a challenge to get them to do it?
David and I would sit there and watch the numbers. We had a counter of how many people were signing on, and we would just sort of spend the evening watching numbers, watching people sign on.
The data person in you came alive.
But we started. I mean, I remember, I think the first night we launched, we had about 203 people reading us, and
she just said 125,000. Wow. Right. And it's
so that I mean, I do want to differentiate between that and the magazine. I'm delighted that you love the magazine.
No, I love both. I'm a very tactical person.
Yeah.
I believe in writing things down and scribbling, and so I'm like all about. And I think there's a resurgence of print, right? We have so much stuff coming at us, from floor graphics to van graphics to billboards to digital to decipher. me personally, but I think they're both needed. I think it's an omni approach to journalism,
Yeah.
to marketing, to entrepreneurship. We've got to try to figure out what fits for what.
Right.
Okay, so let's differentiate. So the online is the edge.
a
It's daily.
7 days a week.
7. So are you doing all this work? You and David?
Well,
Aside from your
we don't
75
do-
wriers?
no, we have a staff.
You have a staff.
Yes.
Okay.
Not a big enough staff.
Well, we all say
It's
that.
hard to make money in journalism.
Yes.
It's hard to bring in money to pay for staff, but no, we have a staff. I mean, and but we oversee it. I mean, we are very hands-on.
No,
David
no,
and I,
I'm very well.
But we do have help.
And so how did Out and About, the magazine,
Begin-
come about?
Well, when we
And how
launched-
long after?
4 years later.
4 years
So
later.
we started in 2014. The first Out and About came out. It was a different name, but we started it because we had this terrific online calendar, and we didn't think that anybody really knew about it. So we thought, well, we'll do a print piece as a companion to the calendar, and that will help us promote the calendar. But because we don't do anything halfway, we didn't do a little print piece. We did a whole magazine, and we called it at first berkshirescalendar.com because that's the URL for our online calendar. And after a few years, we realized that the magazine really wasn't a calendar. I mean, it was. I mean, it is a seasonal guide about what's happening in the Berkshires, but it's not a calendar. So we changed the name to Out and About with the Berkshire Edge, which we think is more appropriate. And it really is, as you said, I mean, it tells you what's going on in the Berkshires. It's very complete. It's not a lifestyle magazine. We're not reporting on, celebrities in the Berkshires. We are really
Thank
focused.
heavens.
That's right. That's what we
Thank
think.
heavens. We need less of that.
I think so. But it's completely focused on places to go and things to do.
So this is about, what, 8 years old, the magazine?
Since 2018.
Yeah,
what is
so
that?
they're about,
Yeah.
yeah,
7.
7.
So
So,
no, it's 8. This was volume 8.
so as you've journeyed through startup here in the Berkshires, how is that different than your fundraising and what you were doing for other people? Like you said, you had gotten over the fact that you were making everybody's else a success. Now you're making yourself a success.
I tell you, it's so much more satisfying, but it's also so much more agonizing.
Are you saying entrepreneurship is agonizing?
But it is rewarding. But
Would you change it? Would you change it? I mean, would you go back to work for someone then?
Oh no.
Yeah, see,
No,
see, once
not
you get the
possible.
bug,
Not
you don't
possible.
go back, right?
Right.
Once you have the bug, you don't go back.
But I was working for myself before.
I know.
So I haven't worked for anybody for a really long time.
So for people that are starting up something new, what would you advise them right now, based on your years of experience doing your own thing and treading into an industry that's rather
Yeah,
tough?
right.
There's
Yeah.
just like the podcast industry,
Yes.
it's a flooded, bloated market.
Yeah.
So how do we differentiate?
Let me think. I think first, you have to know what you're doing.
You have to,
you have to have a plan. I mean, you have to be sure that you are the service that you're offering is different from what else is already available, and you have to make sure that you're qualified. Because
What about the people that think they're qualified? How do they know if they are or they aren't?
well, I don't know. I mean,
Sometimes when I coach people, they develop an idea because they love the idea and they need it for
Right.
themselves. So
Right.
by that they think they're qualified, and I
Right.
say,
I
don't know.
You need to test. I mean, look, we took a leap of faith, and actually, I give this advice now, but I'm not sure that I followed it because we actually were going to start a print paper in 2014, and then and I had a whole business plan for a print paper, but we thought we would start an online. We'd do a website first to introduce ourselves, and the website took off. And we abandoned plans for a print paper until we got around to the magazine.
So it sounds to me like you have the ability to pivot. I think that's a
Yes,
key component
absolutely,
of entrepreneurship.
absolutely.
You must be
You're
able to pivot
completely right.
and let your ego go and let go of your idea. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I might even run an idea too long and look
Right.
for the pivot.
Right.
Now, where are we taking this in the next 3 years, 5 years?
It's hard to say. I mean, we want to grow. We're very pleased with the magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And we keep refining that. I mean, where we're focusing really is on the edge at the moment because we want to cover more. We want to figure out ways to raise more money. I mean, we're actually going to start a journalism defense fund to help us bring more news to the Berkshire. So you heard it here first.
You've heard it here first on Mav's Coffee Clarity.
Right. But, we think that there is a tremendous need for local news. And
What is the local news outlet right now other than the
Well,
Eagle and Spectrum? Like, what is
well,
it?
it's us
Yeah.
and WAMC, but not in such depth. But we are focused. Although we have very intense coverage of culture and the arts for all over the Berkshires.
Yeah, no, I know. It's fabulous.
Our news right now is focused more on South County, south of Pittsfield. That's all we can cover, given our size. But you would be amazed at how much news there is to cover.
Oh,
and
yes.
And the more read we are, I mean, the more people who know about it, the more requests we're getting for covering events.
It's so funny when I was telling one of my local friends here who's very successful in the real estate industry that I'd be working with you. She said, that's the only paper I read online.
Yes.
And I thought, isn't that fabulous?
Yes. We
Right?
get that a lot.
That's the only paper
Right.
I read online.
Right.
And you, people can subscribe. What I love is you have no barrier
It's
to entry.
free to
It's
read.
free.
Right.
Right. And you
Free
can
to read.
opt in to donate if
Yes.
you'd like.
Yes.
Yes.
And we hope people will.
And where are we finding these magazines?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
And we have a professional distributor, and they drop them off weekly, and I forget the number. I mean, some 300 locales around the Berkshires.
Now let's talk about your partner, David. Did he have a journalism background?
Oh yes, he had.
Other than the Berkshire Eagle, like where was he? Did you meet him in New Haven?
No, I met him in the Berkshires.
Oh, you met him in the Berkshires.
Right. No, he had worked for the family that owned the Eagle before, that had owned the Eagle for many, many years.
Okay.
And they owned several papers. They owned the Eagle, they owned the Bennington Banner, and they also owned the Middletown Press.
Okay.
And so he originally went to work for the Bennington Banner, then they moved him to the Middletown Press, and then where he was editor-in-chief, and then they moved him to the Eagle, and then they sold the company.
Oh, tricky.
It's tricky.
Tricky.
And the Eagle was really in serious decline when we started the Edge. I mean, it was then bought by a group of local business people who own it now.
Mm-hmm.
And it has greatly improved. But when we started, the reason we said there was no decent newspaper, I mean, the Eagle was really in decline. There was the Berkshire Record, but it was once a week, and it has since folded.
Oh, I didn't know it folded.
Right, it folded during the pandemic. So
you guys prevailed through the pandemic.
we prevailed through the pandemic.
I think the online piece was probably very, very strong.
Very strong.
Right, and that gave you a wonderful footing.
Right.
So, how do you feel about all the stuff and we don't, our show is non-denominational and non-political, but how do you feel about all the stuff that's happening for the press right now?
Well, it's scary.
It is scary.
I mean, I keep wondering if Donald Trump is going to sue us.
Why?
Well, because he is suing. He's not going to get down to the Berkshire Edge, I'm sure.
Right.
I mean, at least I hope. But, we are very outspoken. Not so much the editorial policy of the Edge, because we welcome everybody's opinion.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of people who write us letters, and we have columnists who are very outspoken in their dislike of the current administration, and so we have regular articles criticizing the current administration.
But do you feel like, based on your years in history and journalism, that we will prevail as media specialists in whatever our spoken or written word is? What's your prediction?
Well, I think so. I mean, and I think in many ways we're safer on the local level than the big national news sources are. I mean, if you look, Trump has closed. I mean, he's withdrawn federal funding from PBS. He has sued CBS, ABC. He's threatened to sue the Wall Street Journal. Now he's suing the BBC. He is going after every major
person that has an opinion.
An opinion that doesn't support his.
Right.
So, I mean, the newspapers are really threatened now.
Do you think that
outlets are really threatened?
Yeah, no. And we started off very non-denominational and non-political because we wanted to share ideas, but we never want to squelch an opinion that's important to the Maverick, right? Because if you've prevailed through something and you can share that to help someone move forward, we want to hear from you. At the same time, I feel like, so much of this restriction is being put onto the community to support it, from our local pantries. Like, people need food, news outlets like the public televisions need money. So, but do you think that things are cyclical and it'll come back around? And when you say, I think we're safe, that actually makes me feel like, oh boy.
Well, no, I mean, I look at what's happening in the media outlet. First of all, I mean, it's frightening because people are getting news that's completely unreliable.
That's the trick.
I mean,
what is happening?
I mean, it's not just. I mean, I still trust the national newspapers. I mean, I trust the New York Times. I trust the Washington Post. I mean, I think that these are serious journalistic enterprises, and I I mean, do they cover everything exactly the way I would want it? No. But, but still, on the local level, people are sharing information on Facebook, I don't know where people are getting their information when they're not getting it from professional journalists. Mm-hmm. So
professional journalists that have authenticity, and integrity,
and who ask questions,
and
who try to sort through the facts and make sure that what's being presented is. I mean, what's the line? I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts.
We might have to cose with that one. You're entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts.
I forget who said that originally. It's not me, unfortunately, but still, I mean, I go back to local news. I mean, there have been studies that show that if there are no local news outlet, no professional local news outlets, communities deteriorate.
I believe that wholeheartedly. It's especially even like in the town I live in now, where they start to let the big box chain stores in, and the mom and pops go out, and they don't revere local business, local news. You start to see the communities crumble. They don't become true communities. They become like, you could go to any part of the state and just
it looks the same.
Looks the same.
Right.
And kind of circling back, we're a set of characters here with a very unique flavor.
We are.
That make us stand out as artists, creatives, a place where you can feel safe.
Right.
It's and such an inclusive community.
And where you know people, and where you can care about people and they care about you, but also where you're close enough to the institutions of government and the economic institutions that you really can make a difference if you're informed. So that's really what we're about. I mean, the reason that we're free is that we're free to read. Our line is always, we're free to read, but not free to produce. And so we need help. the reason that we're free is that we do believe that an informed electorate is the basis of democracy. And so, we are now covering, as we grow, we're now able to cover more and more select board meetings, other kinds of community issues, so that and I know when we launched the Edge, one of the Great Barrington Select Board members came to us and said, "We feel that the local electorate has never been better informed than they are now that the Edge is publishing." So, that's the
that
stuff
just kind of warms my heart. If this isn't Maverick wisdom and like Maverick motivation, nothing is. Well, the wonderful thing, and again, serendipitously connecting to you, is like you can feel your sense of authenticity come through and your sense of care. And
thanks.
I want to just lift up the cover. So
Yes.
listen, we're on
now,
Apple.
let's talk about the magazine.
Okay. Well, first we're going to take a quick short break from our sponsor, Troy Fine Art Services, and we'll be right back in a minute. We take a little break right now to give a shout out to one of our marquee sponsors for this episode of Mav's Coffee Clarity, Troy Fine Art Services. Visit troyfineart.com to learn more about the fine art restoration services Troy Amuso provides, with a specialty in oil paintings and sculpture. You know what I love about art? Almost everything. Because I know it creates such a positive dialogue in almost any environment. I always say, start with art. It creates a better day. And if you work with Troy at Troy Fine Art Services, you will not only preserve and conserve your fine art, but you'll pass it on for legacies to come. From fine art museums to private collectors and just people at large that really want to keep something in their family. Visit troyfineart.com and see how his services may work for you. Thanks so much, Troy. All right, back to the show. All right, my friends, we're back. Mav's Coffee Clarity with Denise DiRigoli, and today we're back with Marcie Setlow of the Berkshire Edge, and now we're going to dig into the Out and About. Now, I have to tell you, before Marcie tells you why I love this magazine. Well, first of all, we're going to send it out to our clients just because I love it so much, and Troy's clients as well. But Troy, again, Marcie doesn't even know I'm going to say this. Look at Troy's ad in the magazine. Isn't it beautiful? Now we're on Apple, Spotify. I know you might be podcasting, but run on over to YouTube and check this out. What's happening now? It's the seasonal magazine. I feel like I should work for Marcie, honestly, because it's so fabulous.
I don't expect to be paid.
But she's not going to pay me. That's all right. Mavericks help Mavericks. What I love about this is you can go in the directories, and when your friends come to town, there's so many things to do. And my friends and I have been chipping through the restaurants. We haven't even got to all the galleries and museums yet. Okay, that's my infomercial, not paid.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tell us about Out and About. I know it came 4 years after The Edge. Let us hear.
So Out and About is really a companion to our online calendar. So I do want to tell people that if you go to berkshirescalendar.com, which is on the Berkshire Edge, you have an updated daily calendar that has even more information than Out and About magazine does. Mm-hmm. But this is an effort to just make sure that people can enjoy the Berkshires to the utmost. We want people to know everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. So we have a whole events section that tells you what's happening in this new season.
Yes, you do.
In art and music and dance and what's in the galleries. We now have directories of all the antique shops, all of the restaurants and cafes.
Is it free?
It's free.
You know what I love about this is that so many magazines are shrinking, and you hold this, it's got some depth to it. Does. And you're like, wow, that it's
good
free.
Paper.
It's good paper.
Solid paper.
I mean, I feel like we're in an infomercial again. But I
don't mind.
It's so challenging to find an all-inclusive source. And I'm an old school lady. I like to write things down, mark it up. I got the paper clip here. I'm going to send it to my clients. You know why? Because nothing's better with a cup of coffee saying, let me just check out what's going on. Right. So has it been hard? Print is hard.
Well, print has become very expensive.
Print is expensive.
We started in 2018. It wasn't hard. Then the pandemic came. That one year we did no print. We put the magazine online. And, but now we've come back to print. And since the pandemic, paper costs have skyrocketed, and they're not going down.
No.
So it's becoming more and more expensive for us to do this. It's not hard. I mean, we love doing it. I have a great team. We have a great designer. We have a great editor. I mean, it's a pleasure to do the magazine. But the costs have gone up considerably.
So we're all being a little more resourceful, and that's why you need to jump on Mav's Coffee Clarity and share it. So as we kind of come to our close today, first of all, thank you so much for all your time. We're going to do a little bit of a rapid fire spill the beans right now. I've got a couple questions for you. Just take it from the gut, okay?
Okay.
Now, what advice would you offer to someone that's launching something new right now? 1 or 2 sentences, please.
Oh, God.
Even though costs are high, people are unpredictable.
Go for it. I mean, it's so much more fun than working for somebody else. But I think you can't be crazy. I mean, you really have
a plan.
You have to have a plan. You have to identify a need, and you have to be confident.
Not just your need.
Yeah, but no. I mean, the audience's need, the consumer's need. I mean, you want this to pay for itself.
Right, eventually, so you can actually eat more than pasta. Okay, if you were writing a headline for your next chapter, what might it be?
Work less, have more fun.
Laugh more. That's why I've got to tune in here.
Right.
Okay, morning person or night owl?
Oh, night owl.
Night owl. Book that changed your thinking.
Oh, God.
It could be movie or book.
I can't answer that.
All right, she takes a pass.
Yeah.
Best advice you ever received in 1 sentence?
Be effective.
All right. What makes you laugh every time?
People.
What's your favorite place in the Berkshires? Oh, gosh, she's going to show partiality in her magazine.
I mean.
Well, right now, let's say for right now.
Well, it's my home. I mean,
it's your home.
I mean, I love being. I mean, we work from home, and which is nice. But I love Main Street, Great Barrington.
Yeah, Main Street, Great Barrington.
I love walking down Main Street.
It's like a storybook sometimes.
It is. I mean, they're interesting shops, but the people are interesting.
All the characters are hanging out, having fun.
And when you live in a small town and you get to know people, then you walk downtown and it's like an extended family. It's great.
What is the one thing people would be surprised to learn about you?
Well, that I was quite timid when I was young, and that I have grown more adventurous and more of a risk taker as I've grown older and tested myself.
What's the one habit that keeps you steady and moving forward?
One habit. God, I haven't thought about these questions.
Well, we don't tell you in advance.
No. I mean, I don't know. I just keep going. I mean, I think the habit is that I have these conversations with myself, and I say, when somebody throws me a curveball or I think there's an insurmountable problem, I just say to myself, I sit down and I say, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? Can you deal with that? What's the, what are the pros, what are the cons, and, how much can you deal with? And I find that it calms me down and it gives me a direction.
It's so funny you say that because Troy will often say that too. In any obstacle, Denise, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Can we deal with that?
Right.
That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah, well, it works for me.
We are so thankful to have you on the show
my
today
pleasure.
and sharing your story, your wisdom, and all you do for the community. Any last words, some Maverick wisdom before we say goodbye to our friends here on Mav's Coffee Clarity?
Well, life can be interesting. I think we don't have that much time here, and I think we need to make the most of it. And sometimes it's a little scary. You take on challenges that you don't know if you can do, but if you don't take them on, then life is boring.
That's
So I
right.
think that we have to try to keep going and make our lives interesting.
Thank you so much for
you're
your time
welcome.
today. Okay, my friends, you're going to go to the BerkshireEdge.com. You are going to stay connected to Marcie and her online magazine, and you're going to do the out and about. And follow me at DeniseDiGregoli.com to connect with my consulting services, speaking services, and learn more about Mav's Coffee Clarity. Together, we all move forward. For now, it's a peace out. Mav and Marcie have got to get back to work. Thank you, my friends.